Hooty hootsters, thanks for being a part of this new chapter. Information is the game and your participation is valued. With that said, let's move on to our topic of the day. The rideshare driver woes. Being without transportation can be a pain, especially on those days when you have to run errands. You get flustered and frustrated, which can sometimes cause you to run late. Maybe you left something and ended up snapping off on loved ones and so forth. Try not to take whatever it is out on your driver. Here are the top 5 things that drivers dislike from riders. Number 5, the time ticker. What's that, you may ask? The time ticker is that rider that may have had 10 to 15 minutes since ordering the ride for final preparedness and yet still manages not to be outside and waiting, or at least walking out of the door when the driver arrives. Unless the rider is elderly or impaired, this should not happen. Ever heard of the expression, time is money, money is time? Well, since quite a few of you only go around 4 to 5 minutes away, think about the fact that that driver can be on a longer trip during that 5-minute wait for you. Stop, drop, and keep it rolling. Which brings me to number 4, driver's fees. Please realize that your driver is maintaining a vehicle for transportation, and there are so many of you that take short trips. After rideshare fees are taken out of the drivers are literally left with not much. Drivers are expected to keep clean vehicles, maintain durability, and feed their families on their take-home pay, so including a nice tip in your budget may assist with keeping the services. I noticed that quite a few passengers have complained about not having readily accessible drivers during this pandemic. This is because a lot have switched over to food and package delivery since the tips are better. We know it is hard out here, but try making a living on having to work over 50 hours a week just to gain $400 to $700 in straight commission. Want to keep your drivers? Tip. It is that simple. Number 3, backseat driving. Now, when you book your ride, you are given a price range on your trip. You are expected to pay no more and no less, and yet some of you want to sit behind the driver and tell them turn for turn as if it will save you money. It won't. Sometimes it actually adds on minutes. Just sit back, relax, and tell us where to pull in once we are close. A backseat driver is never welcomed. Number 2, rudeness. Check this out. Most drivers do not want to carry on conversations, but it is common courtesy to speak when spoken to, especially when entering a stranger's vehicle. So a good morning or hello is appropriate, and answer clearly when asked if we have the correct destination. You'd be highly upset when you end up on the other side of town because you entered a street and not the avenue. And number 1, drum roll please. You anti-maskers, CDC guidelines are what drivers are to go by these days. Stop trying to enter a person's car without being fully masked up. You should know better by now. That means don't have it in your hands, have it on your face and properly, meaning covering your nose and mouth. You are not 6 feet apart in a vehicle, and the spread of COVID is a tricky one. The windows are supposed to be cracked for ventilation. Please do not make your driver roll with windows closed. It is for your safety as well. There is even a new strain out there that we know not of how it exactly spreads. We are all to take precautions. Yes, some drivers might not say anything to you, but that is mostly for not wanting to lose stars or a ride or getting lied on to the service provider. It is rude and inconsiderate, so stop and think. Put the mask on just because you value lives. With that said, that is all for today. Take care of each other and hooty hoo, I'm out.